Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Learning Hub. And now these days we are discussing about the theory of computation. In the previous videos, we have discussed about the introduction part of Moore and Mealy machine. And in this video, we are going to discuss about Moore to Mealy machine conversion. So we know that Moore machine is a deterministic finite automata which is having certain output along with the string acceptance. So now we are proceeding further for the topic with the examples for conversion from Moore to Mealy. So we will be discussing two examples. In the very first example, we have considered this machine, the diagram. We will convert the Moore machine to Mealy machine using two methods, in which one, in the first one, the diagram is given for the Moore machine, and the second one, if the transition table for Moore machine is given, then how can we convert? The conversion is very easy. So just be with me and just have a look at the part example. So we try to understand what is happening in this case. We are given three states, Q0, Q1 and Q2, and the output for Q0 state is A, Q1 state is B and Q2 is A. So we know the output in case of Moore machine depends on the state itself, but we have to convert it into a machine in which the output will depend upon the current state as well as the current input. So we will be converting it into Mealy machine. So for doing that conversion, we will simply consider the initial state same as the initial state itself. So firstly, we will draw all the states Q0, Q1 and Q2, Q3. We are having these three states. Now what is to be done next? We will check for Q0. There are two transitions, one with 0, another one is with 1. So with 0, it is going to Q0 itself. So for Q0, it remains at the state Q0 itself with the input 0. But when the transition with Q0 is given with 0, the output of the Q0 state is A. So in this case, if the transition is done with 0, the output remain A itself. We will write the output over here. Now, in this given example, when 1 is applied to this Q0, it will go to Q1 state. So we will draw that state, that is Q1 state with 1. Now we can say when from Q0 it is going to Q1, the output in that case is B. So with 1, the output is B. We will write B over here. Now Q0 state is complete. We will proceed to the next state, that is the Q1. Now we can see in the given example, in the given Moore machine, for Q1 with input 0, it is going to Q2. So we will draw that transition, that is with 0 it is going to Q2. So when it reaches Q2, what is the output of Q2 at that time? It is A. So for that case, we will write A over here. Now for Q1, we will check for the input 1. So when 1 is given as input on Q1, it goes to Q0. So we will draw that transition for 1. And in that case, when it goes to Q0 with 1, the output of Q0 state is A. So we will write over here A. Fine. So in the next state, now the Q1 is complete. Now we will check for Q2. So for Q2, when the input is given 0, it is going to Q0. So in this case, it will go to Q0 with 0. And what is the output in that case? The output in that case is A. So we will write over here A. Now for Q2, when input is given 1, it is going to Q1. So for Q2, it will go to Q1 with 1. And what is the output in that case? B. So we will write over here B. So now this is the complete Mealy machine. So this is how we convert Moore machine into Mealy machine when the diagram is given. Now we will see the next case in which we are given the transition table. This transition table is same for this example problem, we can see it is given three states and the transitions are given. Now when this thing happens, and we can convert directly it into a transition table. So how to draw a transition table? We will write the current state, then the input 0 and the out in the input 1. We know when a Mealy machine transition table is drawn, there is no output column, so we will not write that. But for each and every input we have to write what will be the next state and what will be the output for that. Similarly, when input 1 is given, what will be the next state along with what will be the output in that case. So firstly we will copy down all the input states q0, q1, q2, and then we will write all the states as it is. There is no change, because when on q0 input 0 will be given, then we will go to q0, and when this, then it will go to q1. There is no such change, so we need not to make any changes in this. Simply copy all these three columns q1, q0, q1. Now the question comes, what is the output in that case? So for writing the output, it is very easy. We will write the output for this case. So as we can see over here, for q0, when the first symbol is q0, and in this case for q0 the output is a. For this q0 we will check the output column. For q0 state the output is a, so here we will write the output as a. So similarly for q1 we will check the output. The q1 output is b. We need not to check the current state these columns or these values again. After copying all the values, we will simply check the output of all such cases. So this is how we will work. So we will write these outputs. So for q0 the output is a. For q2 output is a. For q1, as we can see from here, for q1 the output is b, so we will write over here b. For q0 the output is a. For q0 the output is a, we can see from this table, and for q1 the output is b. So this is how we can draw this. Now we can design a transition table. Now from this transition table we can draw the transition diagram for all these states and all these values, and we will get the same this transition diagram. So this is how we can draw. How we can convert a Moore machine to Mealy machine. Now let's do one more example. In this is the diagram which is given. Now for this diagram we will convert it into Mealy machine. So we will start with the state q0. Start with the state q0. So we can see when q0 is given input 0, it will go to q1 with input 0, and when it will go to 0, the output will be 0 in that case, so we will write 0 over here. So on q0, when input given is 1, it will go to the next state q2, so we will write over here q2, and in this case the output for q2 is 0, so we will write the output q2 0. So we can see the q0 is completely explored. Now we will move to q1. So for q1, when the input is given 0, it will remain at q1 itself. So we will be having a transition like this with 0, and what is the output of q1? It is 0, so we will write 0 over here. Now on q1, when 1 is given, it will go to q3. So from q1 it will go to q3 with 1, and what is the output in that case? Output is again 1, so we will write 1 over here. Now the q1 is explored, we will go to q2. So for q2 with input 0, it is going to state q4, and the output in this case is 1, so we will write over here 1. Now for 1 it will remain at q2 itself, and the output in that case is 0, so we will write over here 1/0. So we will write over here 0. So we have explored q2 for 0 and 1. Now what is the next state? That is q3. We will explore for q3. So we can see from here on Q3, when the input 0 is given, it is going to the next state Q4. There is a transition from Q3 to Q4 with input 0, and the output in this case is 1. So we will write over here 0 oblique 1. Now for Q4, when input 1 is given, it is going to Q3 with 1, and output in this case is 1. So we will write over here 1 oblique 1. So Q3 is completely explored. We will check for Q4. Now for Q4, when input 0 is given, it is going to Q1. So it's like here, it's like this with one input, sorry, with the input 0. So for 0 it is going to Q1, and what is the output of Q1 at that case? 0. So what we will write over here? We will write over here 0. Now for Q4, we have one transition as value 1 that we have already done. Now let's check. We are left with Q3 with input 1. So when Q3 is given input 1 over here, it is going to Q2. So from Q3 it will go to Q2 with input 1, and the output in that case is 0 over here. So we will write over here 1 oblique 0. So now this is completely explored, and we have got this as Mealy machine, and this was Mealy machine. Now let's see, if the transition table is given, how can we do the conversion? So this is the transition table for Mealy machine. We will draw a transition table for Mealy machine. So here we will write all the states, and for input 0 and input 1 we will check for transitions. We will write here the next state, and for the next state what will be the output. Similarly for input 1, here it was input 0, here it was input 1, what will be the next state and what will be the output. So similarly, just like example 1, we will copy all the states Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. We will copy all the 0 transitions and 1 transition column also. So it will be Q1, Q1, Q4, Q4, Q1, and for 0 from here we can see it is Q2, Q3, Q2, Q2 and Q3. Now we have got this. What we can do now, we have to write the output. So for writing the output for Q1, what is the output? It is 0. We will write over here 0. For Q1, output will remain 0. For Q4, what is the output? For Q4, the output is 1. So write over here 1. For Q4, the output is 1. For Q1, what is the output? For Q1, the output is 0. So write over here 0. Similarly, we will write the output of this. For Q2, the output is 0. Write 0 over here. Similarly, for Q3, the output is 1. We will write 1 over here. Then for Q2, it is 0. For Q2, it is 0. For Q3, it is 1. So we have drawn a transition table. So we have converted this Mealy transition table, and this is the Mealy transition table. So for this transition table, we can draw the diagram which will look like this. So this is how we convert Mealy machine into Mealy machine. As we have seen, the conversion is very simple, and we can easily convert Mealy machine to Mealy machine. From diagram to diagram also we can convert, from transition table to transition table. We can also do in such a way, like if the transition diagram is given, convert it into a transition table, then convert into transition table and of Mealy, and then draw this Mealy machine diagram. So we have discussed 2 examples. If anybody is having any doubt, you can ask the doubt in comment box. So if you like the video, if you really understood the conversion, then do like the video. And in the next video we are going to discuss about the conversion from Mealy machine to Mealy machine. Excuse me. So thanks for watching the video.